The 10th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship marks the midway point of the 2022 season and sees us return to Ernée for the first time in 5 years. Maxime Renaux arrives at his home race full of confidence after winning his first GP in the Premier class last week, leaving his mechanic with no hair. The Frenchman has cut Tim Gajser's lead down to 66 points and will be doing everything he can to turn the title battle into a two-horse race against the four-time world champion. Thunderstorms are expected to sweep through the area this weekend, so this could be a wild one in the heart of the Mayenne countryside. Welcome to the Monster Energy MXGP of France.
And welcome to the Monster Energy MXGP of France. We are live at the Raymond Demy circuit here at Ernée, about 45 minutes west of Le Mans, sort of northwestern-ish France, if you like. And as we head into round 10, Tim Gajser holds a 66-point advantage over Maxime Renaux after what has been a mixed couple of rounds for the Slovenian, if you like. He battled sickness in Sardinia and the back end of it in Spain. But as you just heard there a moment ago, from Lisa, Renaux arrives here, back home in France, having won the Spanish Grand Prix 1 week ago. And you know what? He would love to give the partisan crowd something to cheer about this weekend as well, as he hopes to reduce the gap even further to the championship leader. There's a quick look at the track map. About 85, 90 metres into turn one, a tight right-hand turn up onto a plateau, 4 intermediate sectors, the first one dropping between turn 2 and 3, the second one through that mid-sweeping left-hander, turn 7, and then the other one just at the top of the hill in front of the Monster Energy station, and then of course over the finish line. But we have a very noisy, very raucous French fans here this weekend. You wouldn't expect anything else, was you? Otherwise we wouldn't be here in France. But let's go look at a little bit something different here. There's a little bit of story of Maxime Renaux so far. Prado down at the top of the hill. You've just got a double race win from Maxime Renaux, who wins the MXGP of Spain. He goes 1-1 to take his first Grand Prix victory in the Premier class.
Chaussée au moine.
Ouais, ça va. Coucou. Tu me fais un check? Tu fais un petit check à Max? Max, t'as vu, t'étais comme ça. Ça va, Gauthier? Ouais, nickel.
Maxime Renaux, second in the championship at the moment, arriving here off the back of that 1-1 Grand Prix victory in Spain, his first in the Premier class. A lot of people were surprised, I think, when he moved up after winning the MX2 World Championship. Here's a rider who's been riding 450 since he was 15, riding in the deep sand throughout the winter. By now, you know, after winning that MX2 Championship, was already ready for that move into the Premier class, and I think we're seeing that now.
I spoke to Maxime this morning. He is so relaxed. Everything from last weekend, from the double race win victory, is sunk in. He's processed it. And I don't think he's going to let it phase him, but I definitely think it's given him confidence.
He's run up the front a few times. He's had 5 podiums now, including that win in Spain. And so from that side, he's shown that he is more than capable of mixing it in the class. With a Grand Prix victory, he's shown that he's more than ready for the challenge.
There's going to be pressure on you, whether you're Maxime or whether you're another rider. I think a lot of the fans are here to see the top rider, the top French rider, and at the moment that's Maxime. And I think that he is almost slipped into Gautier's shoes. He's doing really well. It's a dream for the riders and it's a dream for the fans. And I think that's what the fans want to see. They want someone to support and to be behind.
No idea who the people were being interviewed there, but anyway, quick story of Maxime's last couple of rounds, if you like. Full house here at Ernée. MXGP riders coming towards the end of their sighting laps, as you can see, but Lisa was down there a few moments ago, and one of the people she did catch up with was Maxime Renaux, but I believe she has a special guest here there as well this weekend.
We are almost ready for the first MXGP race, but we do have a special guest here in France. It's Nacho Cornejo, HRC rally rider. Nacho, you're here in France, first time at an MXGP event. Firstly, just tell us, what are you doing here?
Well, happy to be here, first of all. We were training in Portugal with the team, and we had a race in Spain this coming week, but it got postponed due to weather conditions. So we were like a free weekend, and with the manager and some people of the team, they say, hey, you want to go to MXGP? I'm like, hell yeah, I've always wanted to be there.
And of course, you know, being a rally rider, you have practiced with motocross, you've raced motocross, but you were telling me not at this level.
Yeah, I started racing motocross with dirt bikes, so that was my first discipline. And then I live in a desert area in Chile, so I ended up in rally, now racing Dakars with the HRC rally team. So I still do a lot of motocross trainings. I didn't make it to this level, but to come here and watch these guys racing, it's really cool.
And also the atmosphere from the fans. You've actually chosen a really good one. It's almost, you get goose pimples out there.
Yeah, I've always, when I was a kid, watched like Motocross of Nations in this track and saw the hill full with fans, and now to live it, it's really nice.
Well, enjoy your day. Thanks for chatting to us, Nacho.
Thank you.
Now I have to speak to home favourite Maxime Renaux. Maxime, home GP, one you've been looking forward to, I know, but I guess it's been a pretty busy weekend, not just racing bikes, but other commitments as well. Tell us about it.
Yeah, sure, really busy weekend, you know, a lot of fans here, so I'm really grateful and thankful for that. We have just a great atmosphere, you know, a lot of fans and really pushing on the back of the French guys, so yeah, let's hope for some good racing.
I mean, we saw at the first MX2 race when Vial was leading and he won the race. The fans are incredible. As a rider, can you use that atmosphere for energy, but also at the same time, I guess it's important for someone like you to keep a cool head and not let it get to you too much out there?
Yeah, you need really to keep it cool head, you know, like I just need to try to focus on my business, I would say, my things, you know, and don't over rush or push for the fans, you know. I really want to give my best for them, so I'm going to try everything, but I'm going to really try to stay on my zone and don't overdo.
Have a good race. Thanks, Maxime. Okay, good luck to all the guys. It's time for MXGP Race 2.
Respond to that. Lay low, pay attention. MXGP Race 1 is about to get underway here. As the riders disappear out on the track, we're already back. Here's how they look coming into this 10th round. Monster Energy MXGP of France. Tim Gajser leads the championship by 66 points over Maxime Renaux. Jeremy Seewer 46 behind him. But that battle for third is pretty tight because 2 points behind the Yamaha man. Sandwiched between the two Yamahas is the Red Bull Gas of Jorge Prado. Holding off just 18 points behind the Spaniard. Brian Bogers will not line up today. He struggled through the qualifying race yesterday and he is sick. I was down talking to the team boss, Tim Gajser, this morning. He will not line up today. Here's what happened in the MXGP qualifying race. Don't really need to say what happened. I'm sure you've seen all the news before. So reduced numbers of riders on the grid on what was a sticky start straight first turn. But Henry Jacobi emerged early on as the front runner behind the 211 of Nicolas Lapucci. The Fantic Factory Maddie rider thought he'd made a clean getaway. Renaux was there in second. Jacobi was third. Fans enthusiastic as ever, as Maxime Renaux doing his best to stay out of trouble. Change for the lead happened here though. The JM Honda number 29 went around the outside of the Fantic Factory Maddie rider Lapucci to take over the lead. Then Bogus, who was running third, just tipped over there, picked himself up in 8th. He came home in 7th, so to not see him lining up today is a bit of a shame. Maxime Renaux fell, picked himself up in 5th, then went after riders ahead of him. Benoit Paturel, one of those guys, he got himself back into 4th with that move on his fellow Frenchman. Henry Jacobi, though, the cleanest rider on track. Just being reminded, stay off the clutch. Completely different racetrack conditions to what they experienced during the free and time practice sessions. Jeremy Van Horbik rammed it down the inside of Lapucci to take over second. Maxime Renaux also followed the Belgian through, and then he made this mistake here, trying to focus on not falling, and all he seemed to do was fall in the qualifying race, were his words yesterday. Jacobi led the race. He had about 30 seconds before he ran into the back of Brad Todd. But he emerged unscathed. He crossed the line for his first pole position, his first qualifying race win ahead of Van Horbik and Van Donnick. Fans singing the national anthem here ahead of MXGP Race 1. Riders taking their positions behind the gate, and you'll see the fancied runners from about sort of 23 over. Henry Jacobi on pole for the first time. He lines up ahead of Jeremy Van Horbik, Brent Van Donnick and Maxime Renaux. Two French riders, Renaux and Benoit Paturel, going to the line 4th and 5th ahead of Nicolas Lapucci, Brian Bogus, who will not line up today, and Giuseppe Tropepi. Jed Beaton, Alvin Osland, Christophe Charlier. And then we've got Jordi Tixier, Mira Steven, Tom Cock, Ivan Monticelli and Pierre Moyne. Petr Petrov, Brad Todd and Hardy Rousior, with Ben Watson and Valentin Guillot lining up next. David Puchis, and then we see the big hitters that chose not to ride in the qualifying race yesterday for their own reasons, but Tim Gajser, Jeremy Seewer, Jorge Prado, Albi Ferrato, Glenn Koldenoff, Paul Jonas, Calvin Villana, Mitch Evans and Ruben Fernandez will all be, as we look down the gate to our right-hand side, their left in what is going to be an outside run towards turn 1. Will it make it interesting? You betcha. 9.59, Maxime Renaux lining up at his home Grand Prix, the Monster Energy MXGP of France here at Ernay, in what is a packed house. He just needs to keep his emotions in check. He arrives here as the Spanish Grand Prix winner from a week ago. There's Tim Gajser lining up 23rd on the gate next to Ben Watson, who had a big crash in the qualifying race, hence the reason why he finished in 20th. Henry Jacobi, though, first choice pick of the gates for the JM Honda. Tim Gajser, Team HRC, he will need to maintain his focus. He did have an 81-point advantage over Maxime Renaux a couple of weeks ago, a couple of rounds ago. He's seen that slip to 66. He will need to be on the very top of his game today. So too will Jorge Prado. Spoke to him before the races yesterday, and he said he needs race wins to claw back the deficit. Will it start today? Glenn Koldenoff, another rider who will be looking for a good start over on the left-hand side. We've got the go-ahead at the back of the grid. We will get the green flag down here at the front. Fly Racing, 15-second board up for the first time today. The MXGP, the Monster MXGP of France, here at Ernay. Jorge Prado with 9 pole positions, 9 FOX Holsehot, I should say. Who will it be that grabs that all-important FOX Holsehot in this first race? Will the inside gates be an advantage, or will the big hitters sweep across from the outside? Well, Prado certainly does, and he does hit the FOX Holsehot line, and Geiser over the bars and through the fence from the outside pick. That is the danger starting out there. Prado, he was clear ahead, he came across, and I think it was Lapucci who hit the rear wheel and then sent everybody else out through the fence. Prado for the 10th time with the FOX Holsehot though. So, looking down on track at the moment. Jorge Prado leads. 91, Seewer in second place. Jacoby third as they head uphill for the first time. Then we've got Trepepi in fourth, but not for much longer, because Koldenhoff, I think, or is that Charlier? Sorry, the 32, of Van Dongen. But riders going down at the first turn. Geiser, probably Evans, Jonas, possibly Renaux, Valandren. A big shake-up to the start of this first MXGP race. If you don't get a good gate pick, you pay the price. And of course, those who didn't ride yesterday, I won't mention it again, those who didn't ride yesterday penalised themselves by already being on the outside gate. They were already at a disadvantage, as we saw, and I'm sure we will see a replay of the start in due course. But over the line for the first time, Jorge Prado, 1.2 seconds clear of Jeremy Seewer. Jacoby third, Van Dongen and Van Horbik. Here's a replay of the start, though. Watch the outside gates, and Jorge Prado through the middle, he gets across. But then Lapucci tags his rear wheel. Evans it was that face planted the dirt around the outside. Geiser also down on the inside. Jonas picking himself up there. Look at that. Big hit for Jonas and Evans. And Evans falling on that wrist again, possibly. Right into the post. Explosive start to MXGP Race 1. So Prado and Seewer lead the way. Jacoby third, Van Dongen fourth, Van Horbik fifth, Beaton in sixth place. Trepepi seventh, Patrale, Fernandez now up to ninth. He's found his way past Ivo Monticelli. Then we've got Watson on the Kawasaki Racing Team machine. Tixier, Osland, Charlier, Sievenen, Koch, Geiser 17th. He's just found his way past Petr Petrov. Lapucci now 19th, and Hardy Ruziorg 20th. But outside the top 20, outside of the points, Maxime Renaux in 22nd, ahead of Ferrato, Koldenhoff, Todd, Jonas, Valandren and Evans. Jorge Prado doing what he does best, pulling FOX Holsehot. 10 now for the season, 110 in a career since he first joined MX2 as a wild card a few years ago, of course. He has clear track ahead of him. He started the day 2 points behind Jeremy Seewer. Seewer is right there behind him. He will advance past the Swiss by 1 point, move to third in the championship if it stays like this. Seewer, though, will have other ideas, I'm sure. But the FOX Holsehot winner, Jorge Prado, about 1.4 seconds clear of Seewer at the moment. We will keep an eye on the progress of Geiser. He's now to 15th place, just behind Alvin Osland. So as we look at this battle for the lead, there's a comfortable gap at the moment between the first two. Tim Gajser up to 15th. He has riders all around him at the top of the hill. There's Ben Watson. Oh, and Trepepi goes down out of 9th place. Coming back in the opposite direction, though. Watson leading the way here ahead of the 29 or the 128 of Ivan Monticelli. And the 911 of Tixier in the red, white and blue. Then Geiser finding his way past Charlier. So Geiser moves past Charlier into 12th place. Tim Gajser down at turn 1, picking off people at the moment. We are on lap 2. He's already up to 12th place. He's got 2 riders directly ahead of him as he charges down the inside, not able to find his way past Tixier there. There's Monticelli in blue, also proving to be very stubborn. Kozlov has also had another problem, and Ferrato so too, as Geiser goes around the outside of Tixier. Takes another position away from the Frenchman, very close on the exit of the turn though. Geiser now to 11. All smiles down there at the moment as they urge their man on. Nervous look over the shoulder there from Geiser. Went a little bit wide, almost opened the door for Tixier, I think, who just said, you know what, you take it. Don't want to interfere with your championship or your race. But he's not letting up at the moment, though, is he? From this point, Jorge Tixier up over the triple. Ivan Monticelli, the JM Honda rider, ahead of the factory HRC machine of Tim Gajser. Dropping downhill through those long ruts, up on the pegs, through the face of the jump. Is there a way through here for the championship leader? He's seeing his lead slashed at the moment, but an easy move in the end on Monticelli. You would probably expect that, though. The lack of rider that Monticelli's had and the form that Geiser is in at the moment. Geiser now up into 10th place, but going for his first podium in 3 attempts. Remember, he missed the podium in Sardinia and Spain. Ben Watson ahead of him towards the end of this 3rd lap. Looking across to see where everybody is. Seems like a lonely race for Geiser at the moment. He's about 25 seconds down on Jorge Prado, the race leader. And right on cue, Jorge Prado out of that first turn emerges 4 seconds clear of Jeremy Seewer. Led the second race at home in Spain a week ago. Didn't really know what happened when 1 minute he was leading, next minute he was down on his ear. But when I spoke to him before the weekend, he said he needs race wins. I asked the question, does it start here, right at the start of the broadcast? And right now, it's Prado who leads the way. The Red Bull Gas rider, 3.6 seconds clear of Seewer. Geiser has Ben Watson in his sights. Here is Jeremy Seewer, Monster Energy Yamaha rider, in 2nd place. Elsewhere, inside the top 10, Ruben Fernandez all over the back of Benoit Paturel at the moment. So the Honda 114 rider now in 8th place. Paturel 7th on the ship-to-cycle Honda SR Moto Blues machine, buoyed by the energy the French crowd has given him here this weekend. Here is Geiser. He's closed in on Ben Watson within the space of a lap. Watson, a big crash yesterday, a big crash in Spain a week ago. How second-hand is he feeling at this French Grand Prix? Either way, he's got his hands full. Geiser cuts neatly to the inside, out-drags the Kawasaki rider, and he's through at the top of the hill and into 9th place. He knows he has time on his side. A third of the race has been run, and already Geiser off the floor and into 9th place. Oh, front end! Oh, Geiser! That is going to be costly. I mean, he didn't Whoa! How do you deal with that? Watch this here. He couldn't rejoin the track. He got offline here. He was hanging off the bike. He was a passenger. I mean, he's going to have to just back off and lose about 10 seconds, or maybe give back a position to Ben Watson. Maybe. I mean, he'd already made the pass. But does he then just let him gain right onto the rear wheel? An absolute race director's nightmare there. But he didn't gain any ground. He did visibly yield and back off. So that will be in his favour, I would say, Tim Gajser. There was nothing he could do there. There's no safe way to get back on the track at all at that point. He lost the front. He was off the side of the track, hanging off the bike, re-emerged. The only good thing I can say about that is there was no one else in the opposite direction. But you could see he backed off, he cruised down the hill and gave up some of that time that he may have gained. Just unfortunate situation that Geiser found himself in, pushing too hard. Oh, Patrell down out of 7th place. Watch this here. Just tagged the front wheel of Fernandez, who charged his way through. Patrell did not like that. Fernandez then up in the 7th place. Still about, 3 seconds between these two. Jorge Prado and Jeremy Seewer. Fernandez, Geiser, Watson, Tixier all go by Patrell after that fall. Maxime Renaux is now up to 14th behind Alvin Osland. Tim Gajser is on a charge on this lap. He's hit the line. He's taken chunks out of the riders ahead of him. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. He's now all over the back of Ruben Fernandez. And he is now fighting Fernandez for 7th place. So 17.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Tim Gajser has caught the Honda 114 rider, Ruben Fernandez, who we just saw a moment ago, side down the inside of Benoit Patrell for 7th place. Couple of goes on the tear-off for the HRC man. Cuts neatly out of that turn early, takes the shortest route through, but loses traction and time to the Spaniard. Jed Beaton just ahead of him on the F&H Kawasaki, just a little bit further around the corner. The man in green. A very technical racetrack, I think you'll agree, this weekend. Rain on Friday, rain most of the afternoon yesterday, on Saturday, during the qualifying races. Leaving the track a little bit worse for wear, but shaping up nicely for race day. Up onto the plateau here, working their way towards the end of lap 6. Fernandez and Geiser. Meanwhile, just in turn 2, Prado and Seewer are locked together in the battle for the lead. Prado leads now by a couple of bike lengths. It was 1.6 as he hit the line. But 23.7, 23.1, 6/10 taken out of that first sector by Jeremy Seewer. Seewer up on the pegs, through that sweeping right, doing all the hard work, finding his way onto the rear wheel of the Red Bull Gas rider, Prado. That gap hovering around 1 second at the moment. Doubling up onto the top of the hill there. Renaux now up in the 12th place after he was down at the start of the race. As we look at Jorge Prado, riders that are still out of the points as a result of the first turn crash. Mitch Evans, 21st, Belandrin, 22nd, Koldenhoff, 23rd. Alberto Ferrato, who has been down a couple of times, is in and will not score points, but still fighting for that 7th place. Tim Gajser, Fernandez making it very difficult for him as Geiser almost goes down. Cuts back to the inside, though. And he will make the move stick here. We've seen it already today on numerous occasions, and Geiser makes it work for him. Geiser now 7th. Looks up, sees Beaton charging down the hill. As it stood at the start of the lap, Geiser was 70 points clear of Maxime Renaux. So despite his position here of 7th and now 6th, where he'll take another point back, so it'll be 71 points, he's still gaining on Maxime Renaux, who's having a torrid time in 12th. Meanwhile, Seewer again closing in on the leader, Jorge Prado. Does he bide his time? Does he wait for an opportunity, or does he force the issue? Well, if you're a racer, 9 times out of 10, you take the opportunity as soon as it presents itself. But on this part of the racetrack, dropping down there through turn 5, 6 and 7 here, Prado not giving Seewer any kind of look in. Very quick through there, but just making that slight mistake, allowing the Swissman to gain ground again. Very tight, right, falling away. Negative camber on the way out of that bottom turn. See how the lines crisscross here, searching for traction just to get over that little double jump on the top of the hill into the waves. A series of 6 or 7 waves through here on the highest point of the racetrack. Sector 3 comes to an end now. 2/10 quicker, Jorge Prado that time around. But Seewer through the first sector at the start of the lap, 9/10 he gained on Prado. So sector 1 is not the strongest point for the Spaniard on the gas. Seewer will be hoping, therefore, if he's close enough in the sector from the finish line to the just on the exit of turn 2, if he can make some time back. We'll soon find out this time around. Right, Geiser is now past Jed Beaton. He's up into 6th place. Here's how he did it. Held a nice tight line, Tim Gajser. Beaton probably read the move, just backed out of the challenge. Geiser now up into 6th. Prado responding to the threat of Seewer. Van Horbik in 5th holds a 7-second advantage over Tim Gajser. Geiser eyeing up the Belgian. He is next on the wish list for the 243. In fact, there's Geiser in the opposite direction on the Dragon's back. We already saw Van Horbik heading up over the triple. Mitch Evans about to get lapped here. He went down probably the hardest at turn 1. Back markers coming into play as Prado goes through. Seewer also finds his way past Moyne, the wild card here this weekend. Evans just circulating in the hope of picking up a point or two. "11 minutes to go." All of a sudden, 1.8 between the race leader and the pursuer, Seewer, number 91. Or there was at the last sector. What'll it be now as they hit the line? Prado, 9 laps complete. So too, Jeremy Seewer, 1.8. Here's Maxime Renaux, Monster Energy Yamaha rider, now up into 11th. He's got Tixier about 5 seconds further up the track on the JT 911 KTM. Not the home Grand Prix, the homecoming that he was hoping for, Maxime Renaux. Henry Jacobi, meanwhile, the number 29, finds himself in 3rd place. Fantastic ride for him. And Brent Van Donnick circulating in 4th on the Riley Yamaha. So the JM Honda. And meanwhile, Fernandez and Beaton. Beaton's been down, hasn't he? Well, he's lost a certain amount of time because all of a sudden, Fernandez all over the back of him, challenging for 7th place. Can Beaton hold on, though? Can Prado hang on as Seewer closes in once more? Perfect traction. Look at the dirt there. Seewer committing to the banking, to the outside at the bottom of that previous hill. Up onto the top. Face full of roost, right into the helmet there of Jeremy Seewer off the back of Prado's machine. Jeremy Seewer yet to win a race this year. Jorge Prado, 3 race wins under his belt so far. Does he cut to the inside? No, he follows Prado in and out. 10 laps complete. The gap now less than a second between the 1st and 2nd place riders. A very quiet French crowd here at the moment, with their French boys not challenging for the top positions here in this first MXGP race. Tixier 10, Renaux is 11th, Paturel 12, Charlier 14. Fernandez has found his way past Beaton. Fernandez now 7th, Beaton in 8th place. Minutes to go. A mistake between these two will decide the outcome of this race, surely. Here's what happened before with Fernandez and Beaton. Beaton chasing the outside line. Fernandez got at the inside of the Australian. An easy move for the Spaniard to move into 7th. How much more pressure can Prado sustain? The commitment here of Seewer again to the outside. Prado read it well, though. Committing. Wow, he just found himself a new line there, Jeremy Seewer. Went for broke, got on the gas. Went through all the deep stuff. He's a little bit off balance through there, though. Prado survives another few corners at least. The urgency now being turned up from the Yamaha man as he launches downhill. After the gas. Again, he tries to get in and out early. Really thinking outside of the box now, Seewer. Chasing the dirt, making new lines. Surely he's got to go inside, outside here this time around. He does, but it's a long way round on the exit, though. And you get a kick on the bank. The gap still around about a second between them. Meanwhile, Tim Gajser about a second behind Van Horebeke in the final sector. Is he going to find his way through on the Belgian? Keeping an eye on the other parts of the racetrack. There, coming downhill at the bottom of the pit lane area. Geiser all over the back of Van Horebeke as they go past pit lane. And he goes around the outside of the Belgian and moves into 5th position. No change in the top 2, though. But Seewer very quick on this part of the racetrack, particularly on the downside of where we are now. So we get to the top of this plateau. He commits to the next right-hander out of this left. He's getting in and out of there early. Prado goes tight to the inside, although he tried something new there. And Seewer has this new line here, gets on the gas. Tried it a lap ago, wasn't that great, but he's rehearsed it once, and again a little untidy through that part of the racetrack. Prado just a little more efficient through the waves at the top of the hill. Both riders committing to the downhill, hard on the brakes. Oh, lighting up the back end there, Seewer. Cost him some time as well. 5 minutes to go. I was just looking in the background there. Since he got lapped about a lap or so ago, Mitch Evans has got to be pleased with this. Even though he's outside of the points, he has kept the leaders in his line of sight as they fight over the lead. There, the rider in yellow, Mitch Evans, 24th. His lap time last time around at 58.5, 57.9, 58.5 for Prado, Seewer, respectively. He'll take that as a boost of confidence ahead of race 2. There's Geiser, bottom of the hill. Going after Van Horbeke, 1.3 seconds now, the gap. Van Donnick. So Van Donnick 4th, Geiser 5th. About 1.3 seconds between those two riders in 4th and 5th place. They will be emerging in and around turn 2 any moment now. Trying to keep our eyes peeled on this battle, though. Watching the background, there's Geiser in yellow, up on the triple. Van Donnick within touching distance. And watch as we peel away this way, you'll see the flash of yellow. Prado batting everything away that Seewer throws at him at the moment. Has Seewer run out of steam here? Is there going to be one last throw of the dice for the Monster Energy Yamaha? Or will Prado and the Red Bull Gas keep their emotions in check to win for the 4th time this year? We've only had 4 race winners so far. Tim Gajser, one of them, and he goes down the inside of Brent Van Donnick. Wasn't able to get on the gas early enough, though, but fantastic ride this from Van Donnick. The Riley Racing Yamaha rider, satellite team. He was good in qualifying. He came home in 3rd in extreme conditions. And he's got 4-time world champion behind him as they click off another lap. 13 in the books now, with 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Geiser cuts to the inside, takes a couple of bike lengths out of Van Donnick as they get towards turn 1. Oh, Geiser coming into land pretty hard there. Just they crest that plateau. And just losing a little bit of ground over the first couple of corners. Geiser trying desperately to close in on another position. 2 points in the offering as well if he finds his way past Van Donnick, don't forget. All of a sudden looking in control. 61, Prado. A bit of space between himself and Seewer now. Jacoby 3rd. He's only 14 seconds behind Seewer in that 3rd place. But crucially for the German, he has a 2-second advantage over Van Donnick. Can he hang on to that 3rd place? Though, the German started the weekend 15th in the championship. Hasn't finished inside the top 5, hasn't finished inside the top 10 all year, actually. As Geiser gets almost alongside Van Donnick. These two fighting over 4th place. Rehearsed this move a lap ago, wasn't close enough. Is he close enough this time? No, he's not. Van Donnick holding on, and that's Jacoby at the top of the hill. He got a 5th, didn't he, in the 2nd race in Maggiore when he was there in 3rd for so long a year ago. Henry Jacoby. He's under pressure now, though, or he will be. Third, 4th, 5th emerge onto the start straight. Jacoby, Van Donnick and Geiser. 2 satellite teams ahead of the might of HRC. The JM Honda and the Riley Racing Yamaha Geiser making another mistake there, just got cross-rutted, got forced to the outside. One or two little rare mistakes. 2 laps running. Prado has finally broken free of Jeremy Seewer. The gap now 2.2 seconds with about 2.5 laps to go. And he's found a nice line there. He can hear Seewer to the outside, closing 3-4 laps in succession. He switched his lineup on that part of the racetrack, but not here. He still favours that inside climb. Oh, and Van Donnik has gone through, and Geiser goes down from 5th. Stalls the engine, gets it fired up, but not before did Fernandez go through. Watch this. Lost the front end. He goes down from 5th place. I think Van Horbik went back by, didn't he? Yes, he did. But just before that, Van Donnik had gone past Jacobi and moved into 3rd place. Geiser now in 6th. 2 laps to go. Seewer has done well to bridge the gap back to Prado again. 1.2 as they hit the line a moment ago. And again, taking the shortest distance into turn 1. Ah, Jacobi almost crashed. That's why Van Donnik was able to get around the German. And then Geiser just lost the front look. Seewer, it's now or never for the Swiss. Different line downhill, and he takes the opportunity with both hands. This time around, Jeremy Seewer does lead on lap 16. I'm not sure if Prado just thought he was secure with the lead. He got the gap to about 2 seconds. But Seewer somewhere just finding a burst of speed and finding his way into the lead. Seewer over the crest of the hill and already putting distance between himself and the gas. Oh, heavy landing there for Seewer. Almost went straight on. That's what I mean. Watch this. Has to keep his emotions in check. He makes the pass here and makes it look easy. Dealing with all of those ruts. Gets alongside Prado. Takes over the lead there, but almost threw it away at the top of the hill. Heading into the final lap. Jeremy Seewer, Monster Energy Yamaha. A lap time this time around of 1:55.9 compared to a 1:59.4. He's already 2.2 seconds clear. This is his race to lose now. But with mistakes like that here and there, he just needs to be careful. Meanwhile, Geiser has found his way back past Jeremy Van Horbik, moves back into 5th place. I'm sure there are plenty of Swiss fans out there on the bank supporting Jeremy Seewer as he hits the uphill triple for the final time. Seewer's last race win, Trentino 3, race 1 last year. Overdue in his book. We are 10 rounds deep at the moment, halfway through it. He's bided his time. He's got onto the rear wheel of Prado on several occasions. Prado's responded, or Seewer's made a mistake. Either way, they've been backwards and forwards. Undeterred though, and just running a little bit wide. He stuck to the task, found his way through with about a lap and a half to go. One more long climb back up to the top end of the circuit. And Jeremy Seewer on course. Just 2 more corners to go. And the Monster Energy Yamaha rider drops downhill for the final time to take race victory number 1, but his 12th career win. He does it here in France. And there are a lot of big bosses here this weekend as well. Looking over to see where Prado is. Prado 5.3 seconds back. Congrats from the team and everybody down there in pit lane. Prado waits patiently and sportingly congratulates Jeremy Seewer as well. And Brent Van Donnick, third across the line, only 14 seconds behind Prado, or 8 seconds behind Prado. His best finish in MXGP. He's been on the podium in MX2 previously. But what a ride for the satellite riders. Third for Van Donnick, fourth Jacoby, fifth Tim Gajser after falling at turn 1. But we will talk to Jeremy Seewer in a few moments' time. His 12th career race win, his first of the season, his first since Trentino last year. And how good does that win feel here at Ernée? I wonder for Jeremy Seewer. He stays third in the championship. They were crucial points finding his way past Jorge Prado, because as long as Jorge Prado won the race, then he would have gone to third in the championship. Seewer maintains his grip by 5 points on that third place in the overall classification. Anyway, here is Jeremy Seewer with Lisa.
Jeremy Seewer, a perfectly timed move on Prado there to get your first race win of the season. This is long overdue. How good does it feel?
Really, really good. I mean, tough from starting from outside, but I made it happen. We were up front, and I knew I have time. You know, the race is 35 minutes, so I really tried to keep my energy, find new lines, try to change, you know, because if you follow, there is no way to pass after the rain. But so happy to just, you know, take him by his surprise. 2 laps to go, perfectly done, and now up to the next one.
Good luck for the second race. Thank you.
Jeremy Seewer wins race 1 here at the Monster Energy MXGP of France and becomes the 5th different race winner this year after Tim Gajser, Jorge Prado, Maxime Renaux and Calvin Valandren. He maintains his grip on third place in the championship as well, with a crucial pass with 2 laps to go on Jorge Prado, who had led the race for so long. But the win in race 1 belonged to Jeremy Seewer here in France. Official confirmation then, the result from race 1. Jeremy Seewer wins by 5 seconds over Jorge Prado. Van Donnick third, a best result for him in MXGP. Then Henry Jacoby and Tim Gajser, an eventful ride for the championship leader, but he still extends his championship lead in the process. Van Horebeke 6, Fernandez 7, Watson 8, Renaux 9, and then we have Jordi Tixier. Paul Jonas off the floor to get 11th from turn 1, and then Koldenhoff. Wow, that was a late surge, because for a long time he was outside of the top 20, all of a sudden crossing the line in 12th place ahead of Jed Beaton, Benoit Paturel, Calvin Valandren, Alvin Osland, Mira Sievenen, Ivan Monticelli, Hardy Ruzior and Nick Lapucci. Take a look at the highlights from the race. MXGP Race 1, Jorge Prado from just about centre of the gate. He came across everybody here. Lapucci didn't read the situation very well, tagged about half a dozen riders as they all sprawled down the deck. Geiser was in there, so too Valandren, Evans, Jonas. And it was Jorge Prado who grabbed his FOX Holsehot for the 10th time this year. Behind him, Jeremy Seewer. And then Henry Jacoby, who stayed there for an absolute eternity, right till the final moments of the race. Geiser, though, on his fight back through the field, had a big moment, yielded some time. There was no way he was going to get back on track safely there. Then Fernandez charged down the inside of Paturel, as Geiser continued to charge through the field. He found his way past the 70 of Fernandez to move into 7th. And then he passed Beaton to take 6th. Fernandez also found his way past Beaton as he moved into 7th place. beaten, possibly just a little bit ring rusty. Then around the outside of Jeremy Van Horebeke, Tim Gajser moved into 5th position as the race neared its end. But a mistake here for Jacoby in 3rd allowed Van Donnick to go through. And then, watch this, Geiser there in 5th place, loses the front and the back, and loses a position to Van Horebeke in the process. Picks himself up in 6th place. Meanwhile, a lap and a bit to go. Seewer down the inside of Prado, took over the lead. Prado then in 2nd position. And from there, it was Seewer's race to lose, but he wasn't going to do that. He eventually crossed the line, 5.3 seconds clear of Jorge Prado to win his first race of the season. Prado 2nd, Van Donnick 3rd, Jacoby and Geiser getting back to 5 in the race. Fans having an absolute treat of a day out today. Despite the threat of rain, they are thoroughly enjoying themselves here at Ernée. Take a look at the FOX Holsehot, shall we? As we said, it was an explosive start to the race, but I don't think there was any mistaking who grabbed the black plate. Jorge Prado, all smiles with another black plate there. 10 for the season now. Henry Jacoby on 3, Tim Gajser on 2, Ben Watson, Calvin Villano, Paul Jonas and Glenn Koldenoff all with 1 each. So MXGP Race 1 in the books. Fans up there. Not sure how long the beer queues are going to be, but I'm sure they'll wait an hour before the next race here on MXGP TV. But as they enjoy their ambience up there, let's just enjoy some of the best moments from that first MXGP race, shall we? Jeremy Seewer victorious here at Race 1, the Monster Energy MXGP of France at Ernée. We're going to take a break. Join us in just over an hour's time when we resume with the action here in France with MX2 Race 2 and the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. Thanks for your company for now. We'll see you shortly. Until then, bye for now.